Why would a journalist say water contamination victims are like bank robbers?
You have a bank robber whose name I can forget. What's Willie Horton? Why do you rob banks? Because that's where the money is. Why do you sue oil and gas companies? Because that's where the money is. That's why they put claims against oil and gas companies, because that's where the money is. In Dimock, Pennsylvania, they were suing oil and gas companies.
Because he's not a journalist. He just plays one on TV. Phelim McAleer, producer of the film FrackNation, has made a career of claiming water contamination victims, especially those in Dimock, Pennsylvania, are lying, are frauds, or are just looking for a big payout from a sham lawsuit. Here's one of those so-called bank robbers now.
I spent Christmas Day looking for water, New Year's Day looking for water, this past Sunday looking for water.
The water has...
Craig Sautner and other residents of Dimock have lived with contaminated wells for more than 3 years. In fact, tests analyzed by the federal EPA found Sautner's water contains toxic levels of arsenic, barium, manganese, and glycol compounds known to be common in drilling fluids. The cause, fracking by the Cabot Oil and Gas Company. This according to John Hanger, former head of the state's Department of Environmental Protection.
There are 18 water wells that have been impacted by poor gas drilling in Dimock.
Dimock, Pennsylvania saw at least 19 families' water wells polluted in 2008. Some of those families are still fighting today to have clean water for their homes.
All the allegations, all the lighting of the water turned out to be either bogus. Some of them are fraud, in fact, for lucrative multi-million-dollar lawsuits.
Dimock, Pennsylvania. Oh, the water's polluted, everyone's setting their water on fire, the world's going to end. There's no evidence that the water was ever dirty.
Yeah, except for all the evidence that the water was dirty.
2008, after testing the wells of concerned residents, Hanger's agency wrote to Craig Sautner and other homeowners blaming the contaminated water on drilling activities conducted by Cabot Oil and Gas.
The water came out looking like coffee with milk in it.
The state agency ordered Cabot to stop drilling new wells and to deliver fresh water to affected residents.
Phelim McAleer and his film FrackNation are part of the gas industry's PR campaign to cover up the fact that the fracking boom has contaminated hundreds of water wells across the country. Here's Phelim in Montrose, the town nearest Dimock. He's answering questions after a showing of his film FrackNation. This film was taken by Vera Scroggins, a local grandmother who documents the effect of the fracking boom on her community. You'll hear Vera at the end ask Phelim to be clear about who he's calling liars.
You know, I mean, you can call it this and you can call it that, and maybe the truth's in between, but you know, and I know that to use the word liar is a very strong statement, but you know, they are liars. These are not stupid people, although they do a good job of looking like it. But you know, they lied. They did lie, and we need, you know, I know Americans are very polite. It's one of your biggest. No, it's your biggest strength and your biggest weakness. You know, because you're not allowed to call someone a liar. Well, you know, sorry. You know, where's the scientific evidence of your water being contaminated? You don't have any. How do you know there's uranium in it? You don't know. You're lying. You're making it up. You're scaring people. You know, you're destroying people's futures in Dimock over your lies, over your lucrative lawsuit. They lied about the conditions of their water here, and I know, and they can sue me for that if they want.
And what's their names? Who are you calling a liar?
I think everyone here knows who I'm talking about.
Why don't you say their names?
Should I say their names? Do you think I should say their names? Oh my God, what if I'm sued?
Say, well, why don't you say...
If I was to name the Sautners as liars, I'd be sued. Oh! Oh my God, I said it.
The problem is not that the Sautners are liars. The problem is that Phelim McAleer is not a journalist. He came to Dimock with an agenda to frame these victims as frauds. If he had researched well, he would have found original testing that did show high levels of uranium in these polluted water wells. It seems Phelim is actually a professional character assassin. Vera Scroggins, the activist grandmother who shot that last film, is very familiar with Phelim's professional character assassination. As a citizen, she's documented the gas rush, giving media tours, filming installations, and talking with locals about the impact on their lives. Cabot Gas and Oil, the same company that polluted 19 families' drinking water wells in Dimock, filed a malicious lawsuit against Vera that barred her from much of her county. Cabot does not want Vera filming their installations, even from public roads, and they especially don't want her giving tours of the proliferation of well pads, compressor stations, dehydration stations, and pipelines that now fill a once quiet countryside. Cabot has even tried to throw Vera in jail. After years of malicious and baseless accusations and attacks, Vera is still fighting on, unsinkable. Because Vera does a lot of filming, she's gotten caught at times between Phelim and the victims he's attacking. She took this amazing film of Phelim standing next to Craig Stevens as he explains important state-issued evidence showing that Cabot polluted water wells in Dimock.
This says, Cabot agrees that this consent order and settlement agreement is valid, is a binding obligation upon Cabot, and is a final order of the department, and neither Cabot nor any authorized representative agent or attorney of Cabot or representing Cabot in any court or administrative forum shall state or argue otherwise for any purpose. Now, if you need to know the document, it's a public document, right there, DEP versus Cabot Oil and Gas. You'll notice that not one of the people that live here are on this document. This is an agreement between the state of Pennsylvania and Cabot for them damaging and agreeing that they damaged twice.
Well, I want to ask Susan Sarandon about that, and I want to ask Yoko Ono about that.
They're not interested in talking
I want to ask Sean Ono
If they
about
were,
that.
they would have spoken
They're public
to you.
figures.
Thank
and
you.
I don't know why.
Hey, nobody bothered you when you were blabbing earlier.
Phelim makes like the homeowner's water pollution was a hoax and tries to make a scene with celebrities. Phelim is not interested in evidence. He came to harass Susan Sarandon and Yoko Ono as they visited this water contamination victim's home.
Pennsylvania DEP, an independent scientific result.
Welcome to Dimock.
Susan.
Susan.
I've
seen how unsafe the water is.
Please stop.
Well, excuse me, you're pushing me.
I've seen how unsafe the water is. I've seen how polluted the water is.
You can't see unsafe water.
Would you drink their water?
I would.
Phelim tries to trespass. He's very lucky this homeowner only yelled at him.
Stand on the road. Stand on the road. I don't care. This is private property. Stay off it. Go.
Pennsylvania's regulator, DEP, maintains a ban on drilling in a 9-mile radius around Dimock. DEP says that the levels of methane in the water after Cabot's drilling have not yet returned to normal. Phelim did the same kind of faux journalism in Scranton, Pennsylvania, where he showed up to attack other water contamination victims at a federal trial on their pollution cases. He again attacked Craig and Julie Sautner as they walked down the street, following them and asking if they would apologize to Dimock.
I'd like to apologize to the people of Dimock. Now that the judge has said,
I'm in a parking
now that your own lawyer has said there's no fracking fluid in the water. The judge yesterday dismissed charges.
Harassing people and stalking.
Why would you ask water contamination victims to apologize to their town? Well, we answered that earlier.
You know, he knows some of these people. It's inciting. He's really trying to incite a fight.
That's the kind of fake journalism Phelim does. Attack, edit, play the victim. He later made a film claiming he was attacked. Phelim cut out any evidence of his harassment and claims Vera attacked him for asking valid questions. I had the chance to talk with Vera about her interactions with Phelim at her home in Northeast Pennsylvania.
I was in Montrose when he showed FrackNation at the theater, and then I bumped into him at the pizzeria before the showing, or after the showing, maybe before the showing, and he's always followed by his photographer, who's always taking video to see if he can capture those golden moments that he can use against us. And he was trying to provoke me and ask me questions, and I was with my granddaughter, and I just
What kind of things was he
I
saying?
can't remember what he said, but I felt the provocative nature of it, and I just stayed calm and I didn't engage in the play, but I made some comments, but it was just, nothing he was able to use in his propaganda. And I ordered some food, and then we went back to the theater, and then I also encountered him in front of the theater walking around. I videotaped him, talked to him, but he didn't use any of that because none of it would make me look bad. And after the movie, there were questions and answers, and I filmed that. And eventually I was able to make a comment too. He wouldn't call on me or Craig Stevens, who had his hand up the whole time, who had questions, concerns about gas drilling. And he basically called people liars. Anybody who's an activist or who is against the industry, a protester, we're all liars, and we're also un-American. He said that publicly too. He made fun of Josh Fox, he made fun of the Sautners, and then when I asked, what liars are you talking about? And then he said Sautners. He mentioned their name publicly. Besides intimating we're all liars. So anybody that says anything against the industry is a liar. So we can't speak against the industry. We can't speak up for what we consider to be harm. If we feel we're being harmed, we can't say anything against them. Otherwise, we're maligned and defamed and called names. So that happened, and he was very proud of himself, the way he spoke. And the industry was there, representatives of the industry, and they came up later and hugged him and congratulated him. And I had that. I just filmed the whole thing.
Scott Michelman, once one of Vera's lawyers, talked with me about Vera's lawsuits with Cabot Gas and Oil and the importance of citizen activists like Vera.
For Vera, it's a free speech case. It's about her freedom of speech and freedom of movement. It's about her right as a citizen and as an advocate to document the troubling conditions that she sees around her and to speak out against them and the people who are perpetrating them. There is a judicial process here, and I think it's important to use that process because there are legal principles that protect people like Vera Scroggins who are essential to our democracy. I mean, Vera Scroggins shines a light on a practice that has profound implications for not only the people of that region of Pennsylvania, but for our country as a whole, our energy practices, our environment. And she speaks in a manner that many people find direct and unsettling, but that's what this country needs. That's how democracy happens, that we all talk to each other and we report on what we see and we raise our voices and we talk about what's going on, because otherwise people aren't going to be informed about some of the things that are happening in Dimock, Pennsylvania. And so she plays an important role, and that's why we have the First Amendment, to protect advocates like Vera and enable them to document what they see and to protest what they oppose.
We're lucky to have citizens like Vera Scroggins filming and watching, even when industry doesn't like it.
I write about so many things, and my main focus is the environment and fracking, and how this thing is impacting our environment and our health and our safety. And that I don't want this for myself or for others. And so they have to do what they can to destroy me. And they're still trying, but I'm still here. So.